Good evening. This is BelGeode, and we are back with some more Star Citizen. And this is, what is this now? Day 5 of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo being held in the city of New Babbage on the planet of Microtech. And I think I finally got that all correct. Whew. Okay, so we're back here, and yes, I am back in Vorpx, so that way I can utilize my Oculus Rift VR headset in order to walk around the show floor and check out the size of all these ships. Now you may be wondering, why am I standing next to the MISC shirts and hats? Well, that's going to be the first floor that we are going to be checking out today. MISC is actually one of the manufacturers that we're going to be seeing. The other manufacturer, let me go to the inside view here, is actually directly in front of me, and that is Drake Interplanetary. So on one floor we will have MISC, and on the other floor we will have Drake. I didn't get a Drake hat, however. I don't know why. I really don't know why I didn't get a Drake hat. Maybe I should correct that so that way I can actually utilize it throughout this video here. So let's go ahead and buy that. How much is this sucker? 820 credits, or is that 620? I can't even read that. Alright, well, it's purchased now, so there we go. Okay, so I guess that's what we're doing for this episode here. We'll wear the MISC hat as we check out the MISC spaceships, and then I will wear the Drake hat as we're checking out the Drake spaceships. These two are significant to me because the ships that I own in Star Citizen are made by one of these two companies. I actually have two MISC ships and one Drake Interplanetary ship. Technically I have two, but I'll explain more about that later. Okay, so the usual disclaimers should have been popping up at the bottom. VR is experimental with Vorpx, so, just be forewarned. Not everything may go the way that you would like, but from my experience, it's actually been a pretty good one. I haven't had too many critical issues other than, Star Citizen's regular issues with the servers going down or with elevators killing me. Yeah, I'm looking at you. This is now the second time I'm trying to record this. You better not kill me this time. All right, but I don't want to take up too much time. Let's get right down to it because I really don't know how long this video is going to be. And I know that the last one that I put up was longer than all the others. So let's see if we can avoid that. So we are going to cut now, and I will meet you downstairs on the MISC floor. Okay, so we are on the MISC floor, and you can see behind me there is a commercial going on for the popular MISC Razor, which is used for space racing, basically. You can do that in Star Citizen if you're using the Arena Commander function of Star Citizen, but I guess you can't really do that in the persistent universe yet. There's no official racetracks or anything like that. But we're still going to be checking that out. That's going to be one of the spacecraft on this floor. So let's go ahead and get back into the internal view. And we're going to run up the ramp, just as we've done before, and check it out. And yeah, I still kind of have the same feeling that I did yesterday when I was here, that they probably could have combined a bit more manufacturers and given everybody like one extra day. Because I'll be honest with you folks, I've really been trying to pump these videos out, and I wanted to make sure that I get here on days where we actually have two completely different displays and not waste my time when there was only, one new display and the other one is stuff that we've already seen before. So it's been kind of hectic considering the fact that I work, and of course Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Today's date is the 25th of November. So yeah. All right, but we are here, and you can see on our little map that we've got the Starfarer Gemini directly ahead. That is a big ship. I believe that is a gas collecting ship or fuel collecting ship, something of that nature. We'll take a look at the outside. I'm not going to go in the inside because I hear that one is like a labyrinth in there, and I really don't feel like spending half of this video just trying to find a way to get out. We also have the Razors and the Prospector, so I'm thinking we can probably start left to right with the Prospector, and then we'll work our way to the right and check out the other stuff. And then we've got the Reliant series of spaceships. Now that is actually one of the ones that I have. I have the Reliant Cory, which I haven't yet shown you on this channel, but I will soon. And that we can take a look at, as well as its sister ships. And then in the back left, we have the Freelancer series, which is also the other ship that I have from MISC. And funny enough, as soon as this exhibit went live, I saw that there was a deal where you could upgrade your Freelancer to a Freelancer Max, so I took advantage of that. So I'll take you over there, and that way you can see what the Freelancer Max looks like. Then, of course, there's the Hull A and the Hull C. Both of those are holograms, so we'll take a look at that once we're done with this floor. All right, so now that we have a game plan, let's head out. And like I said, we are going to start off on this side. Not much I can really say about this ship. I don't know too much about it. I do know one thing. It is used for mining, so very similar to that Argo ship, the Argo mold that I had shown you in the first video. This one is definitely different, though. It's got a different feel to it, even though it's got the same tools. I like the little bubble canopy there. That seems to be one of those things that MISC is famous for, is their curves and their, I guess their lines is probably a good way to put it. But yeah, basically just the curves is what I'm trying to get at there. And incidentally, in case you were curious, MISC is an acronym. It stands for Musashi Industrial and Starflight Concern. Yeah, much easier to just say MISC, so we're gonna stick with that. I don't know how you enter this thing. Is there a back ramp, perhaps? No, but there is a rent option, so I might just do that. Yeah, I can probably check this out a little bit later on and see how well it works for me. Yeah, I don't see an entryway, so maybe it's on this side. It's a nice looking engine, though. It obviously has VTOL capability, so I'm guessing the nacelle rotates. That is cool. I don't see... What is this? Release control? I'm not even sure what exactly that's supposed to do, but yeah, I'm not touching that. Alright, but there we go. There's the MISC Prospector, and here is the door for it, actually. So I'm going to open the ladder. I could have just entered, and I think I am actually going to do that, so let's go inside there really quick here and check this thing out. Alright, so here's what we've got. We have the cockpit with the nifty bubble. That is pretty awesome. I like that. Definitely feels like a little workstation. It's a little dark in here, though. I mean, I know I've got the one light there, but that doesn't appear to be a lot of light. And then we've got our bed. That's pretty much it. There's a bathroom. I don't see a bathroom on this one. Unless this is it here. No, that's just a black panel. Oh, wait. Toilet access. There it is. There it is. And it is unisex, too. How about them apples? Nice. Nice. I've never actually seen this ship, quote-unquote, in person. That meaning, you know, in the sim. So this is interesting. It's a lot smaller inside than I thought it would be. It's definitely the kind of ship where if you are like a solo miner, this would probably be the one for you. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. Definitely not really my cup of tea, but you know, I'm sure somebody out there would be very interested in this, so I'm not gonna like hold it against them. Now, if I can only get out, that would be great. All right, open door. There we go. Can I go out now? No, I gotta continue. Okay, now the real question, am I going to fall? Nope. All right, Whew. So there you go. That is the Prospector. If you are the solo miner type, that's probably going to be a decent ship for you. Let's see if there's any stats on it that we might want to pay attention to. Nope, nothing too particular. I'll, of course, keep my head steady, and you can pause the video if you'd like to read that. But yeah, pretty standard fare. Okay, so there we go. That's the MISC Prospector. We're done with that. And let's see what it says over here. Some people consider a flight around their local moon and back to be quite the journey. Not MISC pilots. Trustworthy and dependable ships like the Freelancer, Starfarer, and Prospector were made for people who, we've got light in the way here, measure how far they're going in days rather than distance. Interesting. All right, so let's check out the Starfarer here. This particular model is called the Starfarer Gemini. I don't believe this is the standard model. I think this one is a bit more militarized. I'm not quite certain why they chose to put that one down instead of just the standard one that we could all check out. But there it is. There's the information on that. Now, I don't know if this thing allows for updates and modularity. Certainly is a big boy, though. I will give it that. Let's go around this way here. Actually, I might just go to the outside view, and that way we'll get a better look. So let me do that real quick here. Gotta change my camera angle. Okay, there we go. And we'll start going around the ship here. Or I should say we'll start strafing around the ship. So yeah, you can see it's got some big, beefy landing gear there, and there's the gas collectors, I'm assuming those are. Very chonky. This is a chonky boy. I want to get a closer look at this gas canister here, so that's it for our external view. The landing gear is rather interesting. Actually, this whole structure is rather interesting. And as before, it's got the typical curves that you find with MISC ships, so that is cool. Mind my head there. And there is a garage. Okay. Oh, wow. That is big. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to go all around the ship, but this will kind of give you an idea of the kind of space that we're dealing with here. This is very cavernous. This is really cavernous. Wow. I can only imagine what this ship is all about when it is underway and doing its job. Wow. So there you go. That is the Starfarer. And we'll get down the ramp here. We'll kind of walk our way to the back. From my understanding, there is a catwalk above me, but it appears to be exposed to the hard vacuum, so I'm not quite certain that I would recommend that you go jaywalking out there. Probably not going to end very well for you. Yeah, it's quite a big ship, and it looks like it's got turrets on the back. Now, I don't know if that is standard for all versions of the Starfarer or just this particular version, because like I said, this one definitely has a pretty military feel about it. So I am just going to assume that this one is probably designed with that in mind. And perhaps the regular version might not have that. But of course, I haven't looked up any of the stats on this thing. And I really don't know much about it because it's not really been something that I personally have been interested in. But all the same though, it's a nice looking ship. If there's one thing I gotta say that I do like about it is the fact that it's got all these curves on there. So yeah, there we go. That's MISC for you and the curves. All right, let's head over to the Racer. Well, technically it is the Razor, but the Razor is a racer. Yeah, play on words. Love it. Alright, so we got a couple here. And let's see which variants we're looking at. This is the Misk Razor EX. And what is the claim to fame on this one here? Surveillance and extraction operations. Okay, so this is your spy ship. This would be your James Bond type of ship here. Interesting. It does have sleek lines. I like the little winglets that it's got here. That is pretty neat. Dual engines in the back, and of course you gotta have a spoiler. Can't be much of a sleek ship if it doesn't have a spoiler, right? And looks like it's even got some guns here. Very tiny guns as far as spaceship weapons go, but still not bad. And this, I'm assuming, is the racing variety, given the fact that it's got a number on it, as well as what would appear to be sponsorships. Although it also has a gun. That's interesting. What kind of race are they doing where they've got guns? Huh. Maybe it is not the racing variant. Maybe the racing variant is this one over here. Although they all have the same number, 24. I'm not up on my NASCAR racers, so one of you out there in the audience, if you are, please tell me who rides the number 24 car, if there is someone that does. That's famous, I guess. Alright, let's see what we have here. This is the LX with an overclocked engine to unleash blazing top speeds. I'm almost half tempted to rent it and see just how top those top speeds are. But we will bypass that for now. It is a cute little ship, but it's not really my cup of tea because, number one, I don't really do racing. Couldn't tell you the last day I've been on the Arena Commander racetracks. And I don't see much of a need for it initially anyway. And this is just the standard Razor. Alright, so there you go. If you are a space racing fan, this is probably going to be one of the choices that you will have. And feel free to use the guns if people manage to upset you. While you're racing, that is. Alright, do we have anything hidden around here? No, just the Gemini. Okay. Okay, so our next stop then is going to be Apex Hall 2 and 3. So as usual, I will change our camera angle. And now I'm going to have to put the camera in front of me so that you can actually see me there. There we go. Right there's good. Alright, so just like we always do, we're going to do the magic of editing. We'll cut the camera and we will be back over in the Reliant section. Alrighty, folks, and we are back, and this is the Misk Reliant. Now, the ship that I have, I believe, is this one right here, the Reliant Core. And there are some of its sister ships there. The Tana, I believe that one in the center is called. There's another one called the Sen, and for the life of me, I forget what the name of the last one is. But we're going to take a quick look at the Core first, since, well, that's the one I have. So let me go back to the internal view here. Okay, there we are. And we'll move forward. Now, the main reason why I purchased this ship is because of the fact that it is so unusual. It is technically rated as a starter ship. It's a light cargo hauler. It can be used as a light fighter, but it doesn't really excel when it comes to being a light fighter. So it's not really something that I would recommend if you want to specialize in the pew-pews. But if you look at the shape of it and the weirdness, the fact that it's more horizontal than anything else, and of course the fact that it's got the little guns on the tips there, the real reason why I purchased this thing is because it kind of reminds me of the B-Wing fighter from Star Wars, the Rebel Alliance B-Wing fighter. Because if you remember anything about that ship, you will remember that it has the guns on the tips there. And of course, it has the unique capability of actually rotating its body around the cockpit. Well, this kind of does that. This actually does that. Let's go into the back here, and for some strange reason it is always loud in here, so my apologies if it's drowning out my voice. It's always loud in the back here. We've got a decent amount of cargo space. Like I said, it's for light hauling, so you're not going to be breaking the bank as far as, making money off cargo runs or whatnot. But if you're doing the typical missions where you have to pick up 3 boxes and then deliver 3 boxes somewhere, this will probably do the trick for you. But this is what I really like about this ship. So we've got the cockpit here, and in the cockpit, you've got your pilot seat there. You've got your co-pilot seat there. You'll notice that they're both side by side. So when you flip this thing vertical, the entire cockpit will rotate around. You'll notice that there's like little hubs there behind each seat. So your co-pilot actually ends up underneath you and you end up on the top. And then of course, while that's happening, the wings have also rotated to the vertical position and little stabilizer fins will pop out of the side. So your guns, whenever you shoot them, you'll see your lasers coming from the top and the bottom, as well as halfway under the wings. I don't remember if it's going to be the left or the right side of the ship. But suffice to say, it's a pretty unique experience. And this is the only one of the ships in Star Citizen that does that. And I thought that was pretty cool. That was a cool enough gimmick to get me to buy this thing. So this has actually been the ship that I've been flying the most over the last few weeks leading up to this Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Now, I found out about its sister ship here, the Tana, and supposedly there are differences between this and the basic ship, which is considered Cori. So you'll already notice it's got different lasers on the wingtips there, and different lasers under there. It's got missiles. From my understanding, it also does have missiles in one of these little pods on the wings, or maybe both of these little pods on the wings here, like on both sides, because they seem to like doing things symmetrically with this ship. We're going to head to the back and see what's changed with the cargo area. Alright, because this is the place that I really wanted to check out. Okay, so inside the Tana, you can see it is already vastly different from what we saw in the Cori. This is pretty much your cargo space here. So you sacrifice all the cargo space for more amenities. So now we've got beds. Looks like we've got 2. Let me just crouch down there. Yes, we definitely have 2 beds here. This would, of course, be our bathroom. Our toilet and shower stall and basin all in one. Hopefully there's some kind of door in front of it, because, yeah, privacy and all. Even though there's only 2 of us on board, and one of us has to fly, I guess. We've got storage lockers here and so on. I don't see, like, kitchen or anything like that, but is it really necessary? Probably not. Considering you're probably only going to use this ship for, like, short hauls. This is not the ship to take if you want to go all the way from Hurston to Microtech, from the closest planet to Stanton, the star, to the furthest planet out. It's not going to work. You're not going to make it. You're going to need gas pit stops. But I kind of like this one, and you can see why I might want to trade in the other one for this, just so that I actually have like the living quarters. Is it a good idea for me? I don't know. You tell me in the comments. Do you think I should keep the one that I have now that's got more cargo space, or upgrade to this? I don't know. One thing I am going to do, though, I'm going to rent it if I can. Yep, I certainly can. Alright, rent. Since I have the other one, I've got a good frame of reference as to how it performs, and I do want to see if this one actually performs differently from the one I've got over there. Alright, so there's 2 other variants to the MISC Reliant, and we're going to go up here and check them out. So, again, I don't remember which one is which, but I know one is like a science-related one, so let's see if this is it. Yeah, this is it. The MISC Reliant Sen. Light Science. Okay, so this one has sensor suite and so on and so forth. It's basically for the Explorer. So once again, the design, very similar. You will notice, however, a distinct lack of weapons on the wingtips. It still has the laser cannon at the bottom there, and of course the missiles. It seems like all the variants of this ship come with missiles, which is pretty cool. I like missiles. Let's see what we've got in the back here. Okay, so somewhat similar setup. This is the bunks that we saw in the Tana model. This is probably where our sensor guy sits. And we still have a little bathroom there. I'm not quite sure what this is. Something for science. We're just going to go with that. It is for science. And then, of course, the trademark cockpit that rotates around. So, pretty neat. This is a very interesting model. I don't know if we can add things like weapons and so on to it. Like if I wanted to upgrade it with the weaponry that's on the Core model, could I do that? That is the real question. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that, so I don't think I'll be getting the Sen anytime soon, although I do like those solar panels there. I'm assuming those are solar panels. Alright, and the last version here. Let's find a podium and figure out what this one is called. I always forget the name of the last one. The Mako. Okay, so what is the Mako's claim to fame? Reporting. I'm not kidding. Reporting the news as it's happening. Okay, so you know how you have Sky Chopper 10 reporting all the traffic and any accidents on the road and so on and so forth? Yeah, this is pretty much the Star Citizen version of that. Interesting seating though. I wonder if that's where the producer sits or the cameraman. There's the bunks that we saw before. There's our bathroom that we saw before. It's a small ship. We really can't expect too much different. So it looks like only this section has changed, and I have no idea what that is. Video recording equipment, I'm assuming. So yeah, if I wanted to become a broadcaster and, I don't know, broadcast a race on Delamar or something like that, this would probably be the ship that I would use. Other than that, I don't really have much of a need for something like this, but it is interesting that that is a career path, if you will, that you could choose if you decided to get this variant of the ship. It's pretty interesting. I love the color though. Bright yellow is always good in my book. I'd rather have purple, but hey, you know what? Not going to complain too much. Alright, so we still have the freelancers that we need to take a look at, so we are going to do that shortly. And you know what I've got to do. So this is pretty much your indicator that we are going to be heading to another area. So I will see you momentarily. All right, and we are in the final portion of the live display for MISC, and this is the Freelancer section. So directly ahead, you can see the standard Freelancer, and some of the other variants are off to the right. The one that I now have that I upgraded to yesterday is the one in the dead center. So it would figure the one with the brightest, gaudiest colors, that's now mine. All right, let's take a closer look at all of these, and I will show you what makes them special to me. Well, probably the first thing that I can tell you, really, as far as the Freelancer goes, this is the first ship that I can honestly say I fell in love with when I first found out about Star Citizen and I started watching videos on the subject and checking out their website. I loved the fact that it's got the sleek lines, and you'll notice that I use that term a lot because that's the way that MISC rolls. All of their ships, I'm sure you've seen so far, all have those clean lines and everything just looks sexy as far as ships go. So this is, of course, what the Freelancer is famous for. It's cargo bay. You can fit vehicles in here, very small ones. So I'm thinking the Gray Cat, you can probably put several of those in there. Not so sure about something like the Ursa Rover, which I actually did purchase because I saw that they had a pretty decent sale price on it. But this is actually my main ship is the Freelancer, and of course we'll see the exact version that I have. But yeah, it's kind of like an airliner, or you know what it reminds me of? What it really reminds me of. Remember the old C-47s or the DC-3s? Yeah, this has that feel, which is part of the attraction that I had to it. And even when you get up here, you'll see that there's space for 4 people, and the layout even kind of looks like an airliner, or, it has that kind of vibe. I love that about this thing. And granted, it's gone through like a lot of changes over the years, basically improvements, but it's never lost that original charm that really attracted me to the ship. So that was why I absolutely positively had to purchase this one when I had the opportunity to. And hopefully, the Max version that we're going to be taking a look at shortly will cement for me why it was a good idea for me to upgrade. All right, I want to say this is the DUR or DUR version. I'm not quite sure what the difference is, so let's see if we can find a podium for this. Careful not to hit my head. Oh, good. Somebody conveniently left the door open for me. That's nice. All right, so the DUR specializes in exploration, sacrificing 25% of cargo capacity of the standard Freelancer for an enhanced jump drive, a more advanced scanner, and an expanded fuel tank, which may seem like a bad call to some, but to those who value discovery over profit will find it to be their ship of choice. So that must be those little pods that we're seeing stick out there. They chose an interesting color scheme for this one. That is all I can really say. But I do like the fact that it's got long legs. So, oh, it's even got drop tanks there. This is probably the first ship that I've seen so far in Star Citizen that legitimately has drop tanks. That's cool though. I like that. All right, so we've got slightly lesser cargo space here, and I'm assuming those are fuel related, since that seems to be the claim to fame for this ship is the extra fuel. Ooh, this actually kind of reminds me of like a Lockheed Hercules. Interesting. Very interesting. And there's this section here, which I'm assuming you could probably use for cargo. And then your typical living quarters. There's our door, which we can probably go out that way. And again, same exact cockpit. I don't expect to see any changes there, but then that's also how MISC tends to roll. They like to be modular. I'm okay with that. I am very much okay with that. All right, can I get down, please? I don't want to close the ladder. I want to get the hell out of here. Fine, I'll just jump. I can't jump. Okay, so apparently they want to trap me here. You know what? We'll just go out the back. We'll just go out the back. I'm not going to mess with it. Because I know my luck. I'll end up falling through the planet, and that'll be the end of this video. Alright. Okay, so that is the Freelancer DUR. Very interesting ship. Still not quite sure how I feel about it, but it is what it is. Okay, so we are going to check out the Max, which, as I stated earlier, is now my new ship, since I was able to upgrade from this one. If you do have a Freelancer and you have always been thinking about getting the Max, now is probably the time to do that, because it's not going to cost you a lot of money at all. And it also comes with, I think it's like 10 years worth of insurance, which when we get a bit more persistence and permanence in Star Citizen, that insurance is going to come in handy. It's going to come in real handy. Oh, wow. So my original ship only had like 4 missiles. This apparently has 8, and 4 of them are even larger. That is a welcome sight, because I like to protect my cargo. You are not taking me down without a fight. These are interesting cannons too. They actually look more heavy duty than the ones that I have. Huh. And the other thing that I like about this ship too is the fact that the cannons and the missiles, everything is pretty much under the control of the pilot. You can delegate some of that stuff, but there's no like independent turrets, so you're not relying on having an extra player in this thing in order to make it worthwhile. You could pretty much solo in this sucker here. And for me, being the hermit and loner that I am, even in deep space, that's huge. The other thing that's huge too is I noticed that there are now 4 engines on this thing instead of the 2 engines that the original one had. That's a plus. Doesn't have the drop tanks of the DUR, and I don't think that's something that I can add, but it certainly does look like it's got a wider cargo area. Huh. See, now I'm really curious as to whether or not I can fit the Ursa Rover in this. It looks like it might just be wide enough. I'll have to test that later when I'm not recording. And then another one of those cargo spaces there. And then, of course, we've got the living quarters. Now, this definitely looks improved over what we saw before. Is that towels or blankets? I'm not quite sure what's down there, but there's our bathroom. And here's some kind of engineering station, I'm assuming. We don't know because it's turned off. When I actually showcase the ship itself, I'll go through all of that. Oh, wow. These function as escape pods as well? I did not know that. I thought they were just beds. Huh. Overall, it seems like this is definitely a much better buy than the original ship that I had. Except for the lights there. What's going on with those lights? Huh. But yeah, I'm really impressed. I'm really glad that I did the upgrade on this thing. It looks like I have traded in old reliable, old faithful for something that's going to be even better. And I'm really looking forward to flying this thing and, doing my cargo running missions and so on. So there it is, the Freelancer Max. And let me reiterate, right now they do have a special going on where you can upgrade your regular Freelancer to this for a relatively nominal fee. I want to say it cost me like $30, real life, $30 US. But yeah, you get this bad boy, 10 years worth of insurance, and hopefully at some point in time they will give me a purple paint scheme or just something better than the Rebel Alliance orange here. But you know what? I'm not going to complain because I love this ship. I really do. Like I said, this is my baby when it comes to ships in Star Citizen that I'm just absolutely head over heels in love with. Yeah. Freelancer all day, baby. Freelancer all day. All right, which version is this? This is the Miss, which is a gunship. Ooh. Now, what makes this a gunship? I know that all the other ones have turrets on the back, which you really don't even need because of the fact that you've got all of this stuff on the side here, but I don't see like any extra guns that would make this thing more formidable. It's got extra missiles. I'm not going to complain about that, not at all. But I'm kind of failing to see where the gunship part comes in. And it's definitely narrower. It's like the DUR version where it's got the fuel capacity there. Unless that's supposed to hold like extra missiles or something. I don't know. Oh, what is all this? Huh. Armament, perhaps? Ammunition? Who knows? Who knows? And then, of course, we've got this section here, which seems to be pretty much standard with the rest of the ship. Same for the cockpit. Yep. Didn't expect any changes here, so glad to see I'm not disappointed. All right, so that is the Freelancer. That is my baby. And the Reliant Core that I showed you earlier is also my baby. And hopefully, on this floor at least, you can kind of see why I tend to gravitate towards the MISC ships. They just look so cute. That's all I gotta say. They just look so cute. I love the shapes. I love the curves. I love everything about them. They're just neat. So there we go. All right, so we have one more thing to look at. That is the hull series of ships. The hull A and the hull C, I believe, is what they are called. So, as always, we are going to cut to that. I'm just going to find a nifty spot so that I can stop and go back to the outside view. I think right here is good. Should have some good backlighting or something like that. So here we go. Alrighty, folks. So I will be right back. I'm going to take a selfie because, well, new ship, might as well. Alright, I'll talk to you in a moment. Okay, so we are now downstairs and we're going to check out the holograms really quick. And then that'll be it for the MISC level. And we will swap hats and head over to the Drake Interplanetary level. So, back to the internal view we go. All right, and let's turn around and head this way. So yeah, not much to show you on this floor, so this will go by quickly, especially since I don't know much about these particular spacecraft. There's the MISC Hull C, often called the most common ship in the galaxy. Basically, it's a cargo runner. You can see all the various cargo containers on there. From my understanding, it is huge, like ridiculously huge. And even though we currently do not see it all over the solar system here, the Stanton system, it is going to feature a lot in Squadron 42, so we will be seeing it there. We'll probably have to do like escort missions where we're protecting ships like these. And then I imagine we'll probably start seeing them more often in the persistent universe. So yeah, that's the Hull C. And I guess the thing with that is it's expandable. So this little spindle that it's got there, you can add more cargo to it, or more cargo spindles and whatnot. And then you have the front piece and the back piece that can also work together. So you could have a shorter ship or you could have a longer ship, depending on what you're looking for. And this is the Hull A. Let me just see if I can find some interesting information on it. Smallest, most affordable hull. Great for those just striking out in the galaxy on their own. It is similar to the Aurora and the Mustang, but lacks the jack-of-all-trades nature. Where others trade cargo capacity for firepower or speed, the Hull A is 100% on-mission transport. So yeah, very little in the way of defense. You can see it's probably got one little turret at the bottom there. This is your hauler. But even so, it's not all that impressive. Well, not compared to the Hull C anyway. Let's take a look at it from the front here. One thing that is definitely common, you will notice the curves, the lines. This is definitely a MISC ship. If there was any doubt in your mind, yeah, you can tell by the curves. That's how you can identify MISC. All right, but that is it for this level, so we'll head back outside here. And when we come back from our little break, we will be ready to check out Drake Interplanetary. Now, from what I know about Drake, I only have like one of their ships, but from my understanding, they don't really have a whole heck of a lot of ships. So this is probably going to go quickly, which is good because I'm really tired of putting up 1 hour long videos. Alrighty, folks. So you know what it's time for, and I will catch you in a moment. Alrighty, folks, welcome back, and we are on floor 2, which is dedicated to Drake Interplanetary. Now, you can probably see the map behind me. There's not a lot to look at, which is good, because this video is starting to get a little bit longer. So, we're going to go through what there is to see, and then we'll actually go see it. So, let's go back to the internal view. Okay, and I should probably turn around, huh? All right, so on this center stage, we are looking at the following. We've got the Drake Herald, Buccaneer, the Cutlass series. The Cutlass, incidentally, is the other ship that I have, because remember I was telling you I have 2 MISC ships and 1 Drake ship. That'd be the Cutlass Black. and also the Caterpillar, which is the largest thing in this little display here. And then downstairs, we've got the Hoverbike, the Dragonfly Black, and of course, we've got a few ships in the hologram area. All right, so let's do this. Let's go from right to left. So that means we're going to start with this little guy here. And, you know, even though I read all the names, I still have no idea what this is, but we're going to check it out. All right, this is the Buccaneer. So what is the story behind the Buccaneer? Buccaneer has been designed from the ground up to fly and fight the way you live. No leather interiors or hyper pillows here. The Buck is a scrapper designed to maneuver and fight above its weight class. Rough and tumble fighter can be maintained in the worst of conditions in order to keep real working space crews alive. Oh, okay. Got it. So, from what I've heard about this particular craft, it's kind of like a glass cannon. You can see that it's got the missiles under the wings. It's got, looks like a rotary cannon there. Yeah, that's definitely a Gatling on the end. And it's got guns on the top. I'm not sure if those are fixed or turreted, but there's definitely guns there. And then there's more guns here. So this is actually more of a gunship than some of the other gunships that we've seen thus far. But from what I hear, this thing cannot take a whole heck of a lot of punishment. This is one of those things where if you've got like a few of your friends each in these ships, all of you can do immense damage. But if it's just like one of you going up against whatever enemy it is, that may not be a very good idea. All the same, though, I like the design. The design is definitely wicked looking, and I might be willing to give this one a flight here. So let me see if I can rent it. All right, there's our rent option. I'm going to have so much stuff that I'm going to need to fly in the next couple of days. Because remember, when you rent these things, you only get them for 48 hours. One thing I should add, even though they've been changing manufacturers each day, and of course, when the previous manufacturer is gone, you can't rent. At the end of the expo, once all the manufacturers have had their say, you will be able to go through in the terminals and basically pick out every single one of these craft that you would like to rent. Now, I don't know if they'll still have them for only 48 hours. I would assume so, but I guess we'll find out in a couple of days. I may make one more of these videos. I have to check again and see who's coming next as far as manufacturers go and whether or not there's going to be something interesting that they will have to show us. All right, you should have had enough time to read this, so I'm going to go away here. And we are going to check out the Cutlass. So yeah, this is probably one of the more popular ships that are currently available in Star Citizen. Almost everybody I know has a Cutlass somewhere, whether it be the Cutlass Blue, which is the police version of the Cutlass, or the Cutlass Black, the most common version. That is the regular Cutlass. That's the one that I have. And I also have a purple one that was given to us from the last Intergalactic Aerospace Expo for last year. That one was called the Best in Show, and it just happened to have a purple livery, and I'm really glad they sent it to me because it's my absolute favorite. And then, of course, there is the Cutlass Red. Now, this is the one that my good buddy Sergio from HeliSummer.com really enjoys because this is the fire and rescue one. So this is the one that he picked up. And when he actually gets more of a chance to play Star Citizen, he's probably going to be flying around rescuing people. Let me see what the difference is in the back there of all of these. I know that this one has like some kind of a scanner. I think that's what this is here that we're looking at. All right, so let's head over this side. Now, you would expect a police cruiser to probably have like prisoner compartments. It does have some level of cargo, not a whole heck of a lot. These, I'm assuming, would be the prisoner compartments. I'm hoping. Yeah, it looks like it's got vital signs there. No doubt that's just like a placeholder thing. But Yep, this would be where you keep your prisoners. This, I believe, is the scanner that we were seeing from the outside. And let me see. What do we have up front here? Looks like a turreted seat. I don't know if that's a turret or if that's actually for the person who's doing the scanning. And then, of course, the typical Drake cockpit that seats two people tandem style, almost like well, definitely like an F-14 Tomcat, but obviously the space version. It's a little bit curved, it's a little bit rounded, so naturally it is a little sleeker, I guess. That seems to be the word for this video today, is sleek and curves. At least that's what we discovered on the last floor anyway. This is, of course, your standard Cutlass. This is the one that I enjoy using from time to time. It's got lots of cargo room here. And we can go over here. This is where the turret is, so that is definitely a gun turret when you hop in there. And we got some storage for weapons and so on. We've got little bunks. I don't remember if this has a bathroom. I want to say it does not. I don't see one as I'm looking around here. And then, of course, the typical cockpit with the tandem seating. This one is more squared off, however, you'll notice, but it's pretty cool. This one also seems to be favored by pirates. So if you're into that piracy gameplay and whatnot, this may be a really good ship for you. All right, and we'll check out the Cutlass Red, which from my understanding, the big claim to fame with that is it does have a bed that you can save yourself. Similar to what I showed you yesterday on the Anvil Carrack, when you got these medical beds, you can actually save yourself so that if you die, by default, this is where you're going to respawn. So you've got one bed there, and you've got one bed there. I still have yet to find the answer to my question, however, as to whether or not you can spawn in the ship if the owner of the ship, who we're assuming is not you, is not online. That I don't know, but hopefully somebody will chime in at some point in time and let me know. All right, so going around here, I don't know if this is a turret. I think this is more like a bathroom. Yeah, this definitely looks like a bathroom. I can't imagine that a fire and rescue ship would have a turret on there. But it does have bunks. We'll give it that. It does have bunks. And then, of course, the typical cockpit with the tandem seating. Yay! Fancy that. All right, so that's it for the Cutlasses. Pretty solid ship. I have not had any issues with mine. I know when they first came out, there were some issues that this thing had. However, it appears that they've ironed out most of the bugs with it, and it's a pretty solid ship. So if you're looking for a step up, I guess, from the starter, I would definitely recommend the Cutlass. In particular, the Cutlass Black. It's very versatile. All right, so this guy over here, this is the cargo running ship. This is the Drake Caterpillar. And even though it is really popular, you can see how it's got the name Caterpillar because it's got all the multiple legs there. This is actually one of those ships that I'm not too keen on. I don't know why it is. I really couldn't tell you what it is about this ship that kind of turns me off, but yeah. There it is. I mean, it seems like it's pretty solidly built. It's got a unique design to it. You've got all the cargo containers all in a row there, and then you've got these massive engines in the back. And forward of the engine here, that's the control pod. That's where your cockpit is and so on. And there's plenty of workspace on the interior of this thing. But yeah, for some strange reason, this one just doesn't tickle my fancy the way that some of the other ships that we've seen thus far do. But I will give it some credit though. You know, you can defend yourself somewhat, and obviously you can carry a lot of stuff. So if you are the kind of person who's looking to make a fair amount of money just by transporting stuff, this may be one of the ones that you will want to look at. There we go. Let's take a look at the front really quick here. I'm assuming these are laser cannons. Maybe, maybe not. parking sensor. Okay, well, apparently that's what that is. It's a parking sensor. It's not actually a laser cannon. Very interesting design, though. I know that there are currently some missions out there. I think one of them actually requires you to do something in this. I think it's like a prison hauling thing, and you've got to try to liberate the pirates or something like that. That's if you decide to do criminal activities in Star Citizen. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot more of these flying around because they seem to be relatively popular, much like everything else that Drake makes, with the possible exception of the first ship that we showed there, because honestly, that's the first time I'm seeing that one live and in person. And let's take a look at the last Drake ship here. This one I am playfully dubbing the Flea. It's actually called the Herald, but just look at that shape. Tell me that doesn't look like a flea. That's a flea right there. That is a flea. All right, so what is the Drake Herald? It is a small armored ship designed to safely get information from point A to point B, featuring a powerful central engine for high-speed transit and generating the power needed for effective data encryption and containment. Are you pushing me? What is going on over here? You guys behave yourself. Sheesh. Where was I? Advanced encryption software and an armored computer core. The Herald is unique among personal spacecraft in that it is designed to be easily cleaned when in danger of capture. Oh, so this is one of those high-tech ships then. Hi. She was staring at me creepily. You saw that, right? Huh, interesting. A very specific role for a ship like this. Another unique design from Drake. I can't quite see myself flying something like this, but I'm sure if the kind of gameplay that I have just described as I read what was on the podium there, if that appeals to you, then maybe you might want to give this one a look. The cockpit looks interesting. It actually kind of reminds me of like an Apache helicopter or a Huey Cobra. It has that vibe to it, so I'm assuming it's probably tandem seating in there as well. Or maybe it's just one seat. I can't tell. Not from the outside anyway. I don't really want to go inside. Yeah, I see at least one seat in there. I don't know if there's a second seat, but there you go. There's the Drake Herald. Interesting little ship. Huh. All right. But that is pretty much everything that they've got that's quote-unquote live and in person on the show floor. So the last thing that we're going to be doing is going downstairs and taking a look at the hoverbike that's down there and the holograms that are down there. So, you know what happens next. Yep. And we're going to run downstairs too. I will pick this up once I am fully downstairs. Okay, so we are now downstairs, and this is the infamous hoverbike that I was looking forward to seeing. This is actually the Drake Dragonfly. And let me go back into the internal view here. Okay, there we go. This is the Drake Dragonfly Black, and I thought there was a yellow version, which honestly I think the yellow version looks cooler. I don't know why they don't have that on display there. I think that's a missed opportunity. Anyway, this is of course for racing. The Drake Dragonfly is the perfect snub ship for anyone looking to live on the edge. With nothing separating the pilot from the dangers of space, the Dragonfly is as much as an... let me try that again. The Dragonfly is as much an adventure as a ship. Dual mode conversion allows the Dragonfly to operate on the ground or in space, and a rear-facing second seat means you can even take a passenger. Seriously? Why would you ever want to fly this thing in space? On ground I could see because, well, it hovers. That's so cool. You can even see the little pads there. Or I guess that would be repulsor lift? I don't even know. This is Star Citizen, so obviously they don't necessarily use Star Wars types of terms. And basically this thing just looks like a space Harley, but there is no way in heck that I would be taking this thing from Microtech to like one of Microtech's moons, let alone any of the other planets in the Stanton system. No, that's what spaceships are for, not space Harleys. But all the same, though, it does look really cool. And when I first saw this thing, it actually reminded me. Yeah, here we go. Story time. It actually reminded me of the science fiction stories that I used to write as a kid. I never got those stories published. This was done like in middle school, high school. I never got them published because honestly, a lot of the content was reliant on some other franchises, such as Star Wars or Transformers and so on. And let's face it, even back then, there was no way I wanted to be sued by Lucasfilm or Hasbro or anything like that. So I never published any of the stories. But I do specifically remember creating a hover bike, as it were, and it looked eerily similar to this. Granted, it didn't have nearly as much details. The one that I put in my sketchbook was just basic design. Obviously, this has gone above and beyond a Call of Duty as far as design and workmanship goes. So, but the shape of it is very familiar to me. It's very similar to what I'd come up with as a teenager. So, needless to say, I need to buy one of these things. I'm surprised I haven't gotten it yet. I'll probably get the yellow one. And I did take the liberty just before starting the recording to rent one. So I'll be sure to tool around Microtech after I'm done recording. All right, so that is our hoverbike, the Dragonfly. And we've got one more thing that we need to see here, and that's going to be the holograms. So we're going to start on this side and we'll come out the other side. And what is this monstrosity? Holy crap. This is the first thing to greet me. You know what this almost looks like? Almost looks like a carrier, like a spacecraft carrier. I almost said aircraft carrier because, of course, you know that's where my mind goes. But yeah, it looks like a spacecraft carrier. Let's see what it is. This is the Drake Kraken. Okay, well, I got the monstrosity part correct. It is definitely a monster, and it is also a light carrier. Go figure, I nailed that one. Okay, so what is the story of the Kraken here? It is a protector and beacon of freedom in an often too cruel universe. I can't read for crap today, sheesh. For those tasked with safekeeping citizens unable to protect themselves, Kraken is both a sanctuary and self-contained war machine ready to take on the most daunting adversaries. Drake has thrown out the rulebook to redefine private use capital class ships, attack carriers, and the very nature of personal freedom. If nothing, it's nothing if not a testament to the empowerment of the people. Well, that all sounds fine and dandy, and that all sounds altruistic. I'm going to be honest with you folks. When I look at this thing, I do not see some ship protecting a planet, especially with that little Kraken logo on the side there. You know what I see? I see a pirate ship. Yeah, this is a space galleon. This is a pirate ship that just happens to transport other smaller ships like fighters and so on. I could totally see this becoming reality once this ship is actually constructed. And I wouldn't be too surprised if there's any pirate organizations, player-run organizations. It's probably going to be composed of fighter wings of the Cutlass that we saw upstairs, all flying from this behemoth here. I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. I'd bet money on it. All right, but there we go. Not a bad looking ship. And what is this? This almost looks like that tow truck that I showed you in the other video, in the first video that I did. Has that vibe to it. Well, let's see what it is. It is the Drake Vulture, which is used for light salvage. Okay, interesting. Answer to no one, cut out the middleman, throw caution to the wind. Rip wrecks like a pro and carve out your own place in the great big empty behind the stick of this rough, rugged salvage machine from Drake Interplanetary. That was a run-on sentence. Holy crap. Who wrote that? Ugh, need to go back to English class. But yeah. Huh, okay, so this is a salvage ship, not exactly a tow truck like the other one that I showed you. I wonder if it does have like tractor beams or manipulator arms though. Hard to tell. And of course, we have no idea how big this thing will actually be. But it seems like it's one of those utilitarian ships that's going to find like a niche market. There's going to be some players that would be very much interested in utilizing stuff like this. I am just not one of them. All right. Last ship that we have here. Oh, this one I definitely know. This is the Corsair. Aha. And you know what? I don't know the story of the Corsair, so I'm going to need to read what's on the podium there in a second. But one thing that I do like is the fact that it's got little V-wings there. That's kind of cool. Again, a little bit of a nod to Star Wars there. All right, what is the story on the Drake Corsair? Heed the call of uncharted space and harness the spirit of exploration with the Drake Corsair, a worthy companion supporting you in battle, discovery, delivery, wherever the winds of adventure may steer you. Okay, so this thing is pretty much in direct competition with the Anvil Carrack that I showed you yesterday. Now, bear in mind, since this is a hologram, I have no idea how big this thing actually is, so I don't know if it's larger or smaller than the Anvil Carrack, and I would dare say it probably doesn't look as sturdy as a Carrack. I might be wrong. I guess it depends on the size of it. But the one thing that I'm really questioning with this ship, how in the heck does it land? I mean, I'm pretty sure that those wings fold up. But what about this big wing on the other side here? Are we to believe that that folds up as well, or does that kind of sit there? See, these are the questions I need answers to. And I don't think I'm going to get those answers today. But one thing I do know is that we have reached the end of the exhibit as well as of today's video. So, I'm going to find a nice spot to kind of park myself, and we will consider this video done. Now, I'll be honest with you folks, I'm kind of running out of steam when it comes to this little mini series that we've been working on here. So I don't know how many more of these episodes I've got in me, but I will definitely try to get at least one more out, because I'm pretty sure that we've got RSI that's supposed to display, as well as Origin Jumpworks. Origin makes all those luxury yachts and luxury starships and so on. Those I definitely want to take a look at, because I haven't seen any of those in game. I've seen them in videos, but I've never seen them in game, so that should be really cool to check out. But to be honest with you, that may be the last episode in this mini-series, because I know these are getting long and my throat's getting tired from all this talking. So, with that having been said, it is time for our outro, so you know what I've got to do. Let's set ourselves up right here. And this is the point in time where I am going to thank you for watching. This has been BelGeode. I have been playing Star Citizen. We have been at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, which is being held from November the 20th to December the 2nd in the city of New Babbage on the planet of Microtech. So it is still going on. The link should be coming up on your screen right now, or the information that tells you basically how you can go to the website, the Star Citizen website, download the game, install the game, and you can actually do the little free fly that they've got going on for this week. All right. But if you enjoy what you've seen, please feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And hopefully I will be back sometime in the very near future to round out this entire expo. I will tell you that today is the day before Thanksgiving, so tomorrow I am definitely taking a break. I probably won't even turn on the PC. Yeah, I know, shocking, isn't it? And just to remind you, we've been using Vorpx in order to have the VR experience, or the fake VR experience, poor man's VR as I call it. But it definitely has come in handy for me making these videos for you. So I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed that. Alrighty, folks, that's it for me. Thank you again, and I will talk to you all really soon, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Ciao. Just gotta invade my personal space, huh? Okay, well, we're gonna talk in a minute. Hee hee.